We're at Taborville Prairie in southwest Missouri, and we're reintroducing the American burying beetle back to where it used to live. So the burying beetle is an amazing species, and it honestly is. A pair will find something dead. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a bird, a mammal, a snake, a fish, or whatever. It just needs to be the right size, and they bury that underground, and they raise their young on it, right? So the young are these little white Michelin man-looking grub worms, and they feed them. They stay with them underground for their whole developmental stage, and they feed them. And they raise them, and then they go off when the beetles turn into adult beetles, when they change from that grub into the adult beetle. And they're important to save because they used to be very common. They used to be common in 35 states all around the US, and now they're found in a handful, and in like small populations in a handful. They haven't been found here in Missouri since the mid-1970s. We haven't found them. And so they have existed in my home state, in my lifetime, and now they're not here. And we looked really hard. We've been surveying since 2001 for these beetles all over the state. Hundreds of sites, thousands of nights. We've looked for them and haven't found any until we started to put them back into the wild. And so they're important because they're a part of our ecosystem that's missing. And as the saying goes, a good tinkerer saves all of his parts. And so we need to save those parts, or at least figure out why they're not here anymore. So we've been reintroducing the beetles here for 23 years. And actually, Sedgwick County Zoo has been a partner with us for the past 8 years at least. And so they come out and they help us put the beetles in the ground. It's a lot of hard work, I will say. It's a long, hard day in the sun, out here digging holes and breaking sod that hasn't been busted yet. And so we've been putting them back for that long, and we come back and we survey all summer for them to see how the beetles are doing and how much impact our work is having on the population here. I think it's important for people to be interested in what's happening in the habitat around them. We all exist in an ecosystem, right? Whether you live in the city, whether you live out in the country, it's an ecosystem. And there's a lot of animals and plants that are parts of that. And it's important for people to know what's going on in that ecosystem, and then to help it along. One thing you can do to help animals like the beetle is to plant native plants. It's real important to plant native plants that are used to that habitat, that can survive drought, that require less care, and that will bring native animals to your yard, native insects, native pollinators, native beetles back to your yard or the land that you live on. And so there are things we can do. We can manage our property and our homes in a way that supports native wildlife.